Turn on that radio and back here. The cops ain't likely to catch up with us, not tonight. So we can all be quiet and peaceable and listen to the music.
This episode of Auto Dealer Live is brought to you by TrueCar. What up? Man, that was loud. What's up, gentlemen?
What's a little loud?
I was like, where's Tommy? I looked up at the
Tommy's
screen.
out of screen.
Oh, look at that's a big move. If you can move that kind of mass, look at him there.
I unplugged my mic.
I mean, we're going live on the show. It's like 3, 2, and Tommy's like 1. He said,
I lost my ears. My
That's
ears
all right,
were gone. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing today?
"What's up, man?
What's
I'm
happening?
doing good." If you can move that kind of mass, ladies and gentlemen, this man right here, sitting to my right, your left, is a size 52 chest, and
50.
he is.
50. I lost some weight. It's 50.
How do you lose your
I can fit a-
chest? How do you lose weight in your chest?
Because you're fat in your chest too, and
All
you're
right.
fat as you're fat in your stomach.
So
and
he's
when I
a
lost some
50.
weight,
He's a 50 chest
50
and
chest.
a size
34 waist.
34 waist.
Yep.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is Johnny Bravo right there.
Yeah.
Kinda. Yep. But anyway, what size jacket are you, Dave?
I am a 42
Regular.
short.
Short.
Nope.
Oh.
And modern fit.
So did
Huh?
okay.
What?
What are you?
So did you go down 2 inches? You lost some weight recently.
That's what she's. Yeah. I did not go down 2 inches.
Okay.
No, yeah, I went down. Yes, I did. You know what? I want to get off the subject
Which one is
altogether.
it?
So
What?
let's.
Okay.
Hey,
Moving on.
how about you, Dave? No, just kidding.
What size jacket are you, Dave Cribs?
I shop in the boys section so that I don't have to work out.
He's like, I'm husky in the husky section.
So we would like to know what size you are. What size jacket are you? Huh?
we
You guys
don't.
like that? We are shared custody today, guys. All right, let's get our one-liners down for some
Yes.
shared custody. So you know what? Are you tired of your customers going somewhere else? So basically, you tired of taking a DNA test to tell whose customer is it?
Who's your daddy?
Your daddy? How about that
Are you
one?
tired
You
of
top
treated
that one?
like a redheaded stepchild?
Are you getting to? Ooh.
Wow.
All right.
Not
How
bad.
about you, Ribs? You got one?
Are you getting tired of going on the Maury show every week just to try to figure it out?
You got to go to Maury Povich so he can determine who has custody.
Yeah.
Are you tired of paying child support and somebody else is getting to spend time with your baby? You haven't seen your baby in 2 years, but you're paying child support.
Right.
Sad.
How about that one?
Are you
bet-
tired?
You
I
got
can't
anything
just-
better than that?
That made me sad, actually. I'm sure people are like, I can't even go out to dinner.
Hey, we're talking to
Child
car
support,
guys
I
and
need
car
some
girls
kids.
today about shared custody, and the topic is it's stirred up a little bit of comments on Facebook and on Twitter. Cribs, this is an interesting subject. Spending time in the car business as you have for such a long time. This was. I mean, what?
I don't know why he's smirking.
I mean, because I meant
Always goes to the age thing. But
no,
go
I
ahead.
meant
Oh, yeah.
I meant
Yeah.
you've been in the business for a while.
Yes.
It's always an issue, and it's really not anything different with technology. If anything, it's probably become more of a pressing issue with technology because it's easier to identify a customer and to quote make that customer part of your CRM. With the technology today, if they shop in my service department, if they buy a part from my parts department, if they are, I don't care if they're getting their car detailed by my detail department, if they're spending a dime at my dealership, but yet they bought a car from over here, then I'm going to, as a salesperson, I know what my mentality would be. I'm going to take advantage of that experience. I'm going to have that customer in my database, and when it comes time for them to trade in a vehicle, then I'm going to step right in and act like I'm the daddy.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to take advantage of that opportunity, and like you said, and things have changed a little bit over the years. I mean, in the past, it was just your personal customers or the customers that the dealership had originally sold that were kind of more on your radar. But now, there's access to so many customers. And the other thing that has taken place.
Well, now because they have Model A, T, they got
Yeah,
all of
right,
them, right?
right.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
another
I mean,
thing
it's
that's taken
harder
place.
like when back then when you were in the car
Here we
business.
go.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, if it was too hard to crank the vehicle, you could just say, "Oh, aren't you tired of your forearms and biceps throbbing every time you'd like to start the Dallas car?"
Hey, John's coming in the service drive. He's license plate 7.
Oh, hold on,
He's
John's
number
coming,
7.
John's
He's coming
in the service drive.
Okay.
I wonder if
Dehorse him. Dehorse that cat. Let's see if we can dehorse him.
Yes.
All right.
You had a good point, and I
Okay, anyway, what was your point?
screwed it
I'm
all
sorry.
up.
Oh,
You're
here
welcome.
we go.
Sorry
Here we
about
go.
that.
So
Moby Dick was a minnow. When
yeah.
you were,
Thanks. Another thing that's taken place though over the years is the fact that I'm getting a lot of.
it's Lewis. Go ahead though. What were you saying? Over the years,
Well, in recent years, the dynamic has changed a bit when it comes to customer loyalty also. I mean, now there's a lot more parity in brands. You don't have these huge quality gaps, and now we have many more models on the market. So, and the younger generation is also that's coming up, millennials or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
They're not that brand focused, like maybe some older folks like myself might have been.
yeah. I don't know. I know just Cribs is you guys are distracting Cribs. But
could
okay,
have
so
it-
what do you
Yeah,
think,
it's like
Tommy?
an
I mean,
echo in the room.
I mean, it's interesting today. I mean, I'm interested to hear
Yes.
really the strategies because here's the reality. If you're out in social media world and you're commenting today,
Hashtag Auto Deal Live. Make
Yes.
your voice be heard.
yes, and if you want it to literally be heard, there's a phone number at the top left of your screen. It's 813-574-1820. We'd love to take your calls today. We'll be getting overwhelmed with calls and haven't been able to bring everybody on the show, but be patient with us. Keep calling in, and if you have something that's really worth bringing into the show, we'd love to hear from you. But here's the reality, guys. The reality is it's here to stay, and it's here to stay. It's been here, but it's more prominent today. And the reality is, I'm interested in hearing from some of the top salespeople on the ground today. Some people who are really honestly doing a great job. We've got a guest on that's number one in their area in referrals. We have one of the top Ford salespeople in Central Florida on today. We have a sales pro, a true sales professional with the Bernie Moreno companies. I mean, which they own, I think, 10 or 11 stores throughout multiple states. We've got a sales and leasing consultant at Burt Wolf, who's really branding himself well. We've got a sales professional at Gay Family Kia, which Gay Group is a huge group. And then we have someone who's spent some time in the car business and is on the other side now. I'm anxious to hear what they have to say because the reality is that's the key. It's going to happen, but what are you doing? It's not enough to say, oh, I'm aware of it, and hey, we got to do a good job, and oh man, you know what, somebody's going to steal your customer. That everyone says that, but what are you doing? Can you give me some actual tangible walkaways that I can take notes? I want to see people tweet in today. How about this? How about we'll go back to old school Auto Deal Live. You guys tweet us pictures of the notes you're taking because the content from these sales professionals is so good. How about that?
Yeah.
Novel.
That was, huh?
I think you nailed it because, as much as we'd love for you to say you're watching because of us three up here, that's one thing. But the real reason that our viewers are watching and listening, it's because of the dealers that are on the show, the things that you're taking away from the show, the things that you can plug and play. You can walk away after a show and know you're in a better position to elevate your career in this business. Simple as that. So yeah, it'll be very interesting. I can't wait to hear. I know I'll pick up something today with between all these guests. You're going to hear something that you're not doing that we hear about that is getting results. So absolutely.
100%. Hey Lou, why don't you have Kim bring in one of those Serial Sales Pro Letterman's jackets? We're going to give one away to the top influencer.
Oh,
monogrammed.
come on now.
Serial Sales Pro
Hot off the presses.
jacket. It's going to have. Listen to this. It's got the Serial Sales Pro head monogrammed on one side. It's got your last name. All right, so it's
Like
monogrammed.
Fonzarelli, if your last name happened to be Fonzarelli.
Yeah.
Those are literally fresh off the press.
Oh yeah, we haven't. No one has one of these.
I don't even have one yet.
I don't have
Yeah.
Why would you have one?
Well,
What do you mean why?
You wanted
listen,
to-
man, go
hey,
get a
why?
daggum jacket. How about Fonzarelli called one his jacket? Richie Cunningham jacket. I'm talking about. It's gonna have your last name on the back. It's gonna say Serial Sales Pro. They're black and white. We'll show them to you. Matter of fact, the jacket I'm gonna show you right now doesn't have anything monogrammed on it because you have to have your name customized because we don't know who won yet. And we don't know your size.
Just put Tiarina on
Grab one of those jackets. No, man, I want to see Twitter and Facebook. All right, We're going to pick the top influencer. So if you're on Facebook, you can participate in this just by commenting your fingers off. Share this thing, all right? Share the feed, comment on Facebook, call in. We will pick the person who has the most influence.
I think sharing on Facebook should be
Qualify.
Should be a qualifier.
Yes.
And sharing on
Share
Twitter.
that post.
How do you share on Twitter? Retweet it, like us, share us,
Sharing
call in,
is
say
caring.
something. Give us some feedback today, and we're going to give you a jacket. If Lewis would ever bring one to me, I'll show you what it looks
Yeah,
like.
he's not moving. He's not. Well, we got to go to commercials anyway, right? So let's do commercials. We'll go to commercials. You go get that Letterman jacket with Fonzarelli on the name thing there, and then what do we got after that? What do we got?
The next up,
Next up is what?
Our shared custody panel.
Oh.
panel number 1.
By the way,
What?
I just got to notice our jackets not in the building. They're actually being made. They're not even off the press.
All right, well then tell Kim, here's what I need you to do over commercial. Have Kim send you guys the image with the Serial Sales Pro on it, and then pop that up on the screen when we get back. We'll talk a minute about it before we introduce her. All right, guys. Hey, man, make sure you guys start commenting like crazy. But let's go ahead and read a comment to give you something to chew on here. This is the Facebook comment that came in from Keith Shetterly. He said, in this modern market, you know, it's going to be interesting to see if they actually raise the teleprompter up while I'm talking, because I think they're a little bit of delayed. So Jenna's got to hear me coming into this thing. So as the teleprompter's moving, I'm kind of delaying what I'm getting ready to say because I don't know the second half of the sentence I'm getting ready to say.
You know, add
in
the
this
second
modern
part.
market-
I have to like make it up. Keith Shetterly says, in this modern market, there's no customer loyalty to your butt. Oh, no, that's not what he said.
Oh, there it is.
What'd he say?
And then anything other than how they feel.
So in this modern market, there's no customer loyalty, Dave, to anything other than what?
How they feel.
And
Price,
Which
we still fall all over ourselves promoting with sale, 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 isn't a feeling. We sit right in a modern culture where folks will check reviews on a new restaurant to see other people's feelings about it,
Feelings.
and where folks will consistently
we're going to let you guess what the rest of
will
it says.
consistently order their food without preparing ahead of time for the vegetables they were supposed to eat
That's funny.
because there's no
Because they have
teleprompter.
because
feed.
they have a
Hey,
gluten
Lewis, are
allergy.
you doing a teleprompter? Okay.
Because they have a gluten allergy.
All
Why?
right, so
why
we
you always
sit
take it
right
blame?
in a modern culture where folks will check reviews on a new restaurant to see other people's feelings about it, and where folks will consistently go to a restaurant because how they feel about it, and, but this is a long comment, where we ourselves do all those things, but we think somehow all this stops for a car purchase. The only way you will ever have custody of a customer is to finish what this says, is to get hold of their feelings about your dealership,
Thank you for watching Auto Dealer Live.
about you as a salesperson,
Next week,
and about how
the shared custody
they
panel like we
expect
promised
to be
today.
treated. We got to go to
Don't you
commercial
nowhere.
break.
Hey,
We'll
Jenna,
be right back with shared custody
Jenna,
panel number
shorter
one. Hey,
ones,
thanks,
Jen.
Jenna.
Good job.
Hi, I'm Chip Perry. The Pledge was and is an action plan designed to address head-on the concerns that many of you told me about right after I took this job. Thus far, our Dealer Pledge has been aimed at fixing the major pain points that you told us about related to our product, our customer service, and our consumer advertising. I'd like to reiterate that our Dealer Pledge is our ongoing commitment to you, our dealer customers, and we will continue to work hard to improve our service to you.
Hey, Dave Cribs here, Serial Sales Pro Trainer, talking about our upcoming Internet BDC Boot Camp. Look, it's no secret that every dealer is focused in this area. Arguably, our best leads are coming in either through Internet, through outbound phone calls, or most importantly, that inbound call that's arguably now the best up that we have. Now, when ups on our showroom floor, we're all over them when it comes to process and what we're doing, and we see what's happening. But oftentimes in the internet, it's overlooked, and here's where we are missing opportunities, and this is really the new playground, if you will, for process and interaction with customers. So join us for our BDC boot camp, where we're not only going to talk about selling the appointment rather than the car, but more importantly, selling the appointment that sticks, that shows. Join myself, John Marazzi, managing partner of Brandon Honda Sun Toyota, a history of taking dealerships to a whole new crazy level, and others at our Serial Sales Pro Boot Camp, Internet BDC, coming up soon. Thanks.
Hey guys, Dave Villa here at IPD. Listen, I'm here with my younger brother, Nick. What's up, brother?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Listen, entrepreneurship runs in this family, man. We're blessed. My dad's one of the best salespeople that I know, and the apple didn't fall far from the tree. But listen to this. You got to check out this new company. We're going to be pushing this. These guys are amazing. It's called Tootit, and you can check it out on the Apple App Store or at tootitapp.com. Listen, I'm too old for a tutor, but I know this, my 16-year-old, she has tutors right now. This is a cool app, man. Where'd you get this idea, Nick?
So I was sitting in my dorm last year about 11:30 at night, and my assignment was due at midnight. And I thought to myself, I need to go text my friends. I need to hurry up. It's due at midnight. I have 30 minutes to go. And then that's when all of a sudden it just hit me. I go, you know what? There's an Uber. So why can't we have a Uber just for tutoring, like on our smartphones? And that's when it all came to me. And I went to my dad about it. And I told my dad about the whole concept. And he thought it was an absolutely phenomenal idea.
Man, let me tell you something. And you know what? They can have an Uber tutor app because it is in existence right now. Go check this out. Again, it's in the Apple Store and it's going to be on Google Play, I think, in the next 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you got to check this out. Tootitapp.com. And listen, man, excellent idea, brother.
Thank you.
Excellent idea.
Hey guys, we came back for you guys. You're welcome. I have my ear stuck in. Hey, welcome back. Auto Live 3:30. God bless y'all. We're here. Dave Cribbs, Dave Villa, Tommy Elwell. Let's get right into it, shall we?
Let's do
right
it.
into the shared custody panel. Y'all ready, producers?
Mm-hmm.
Let's make this thing happen. We got Chris Castle. She's the president and CEO at Car News Network. We got Kalan Anderson, sales professional at Gay Family Kia. And we have Mr. William McCormick, sales and leasing consultant at Burt Wolf, Inc. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are we?
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming on today. And we're going to jump right into shared custody.
What you got?
Yeah, let's go to Kalan. And Kalan, let's just start off by asking, is it reasonable to expect that we can even maintain custody of our customer once we make the initial sale for the next time around? Because there's so much out there now, so many ways to find customers that our competition is using, as well as the fact that there's a lot of parity on the market, a lot of choices. I mean, what do you say to that? Is it even possible for us to really hold a tight grip on our customers after the sale?
That's a great question. I believe it really is possible. It takes a lot of work on our effort because there is so much noise out there. But I confidently believe that you can definitely, sell somebody a car and then also be their go-to person for their next purchase as well.
That's okay. And let me ask too. You have a follow up on that?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, let me go to Chris. And Chris, let me ask you this. I mean, something I've wondered on this whole deal. Obviously, that it's possible. I think Kalan's right, and I think any salesperson would be remiss to not admit it's possible because that's our business. But let's look at it from an owner's point of view and see where the onus lies. Let's see where the responsibility lies here and what part of that might rely on the owner. Let me explain that. For instance, okay, one of the things that we're talking about that might that might cause the customer to be shared, to possibly not only be ours, is if they service their vehicle somewhere else. Doesn't that responsibility fall somewhat on the dealership, maybe when they're marketing in the service department? I mean, isn't that responsibility shared as well, where the salesperson does a bang-up job, and yes, you're going to reach out to them, but then somebody's service department's doing a good job possibly, or somebody at dealership number 2 might be doing their part in the fixed ops or the back end. And so isn't it more than just the salesperson's responsibility, and shouldn't this be a joint effort, Chris?
It's completely a joint effort. There's responsibilities on both ends. First and foremost, as the dealer principal running a business, everything starts from the top down. So to expect a salesperson that you hire from another dealership or from just the general marketplace, to expect them to come in and know all of their resources and things like that. Many salespeople don't know the resources when they're new into the marketplace, and they learn from other visionary leaders in groups and places like on Auto Dealer Live. Mm-hmm. So they have to learn, and it takes a long time to learn everything that you can do. They don't even know some of the vendors exist, or that they are even allowed to do things that may be permissible. I mean, think about it. If you're hired into a dealership and you're 3 months in, how are you going to know anything about DealerRater or Google Plus or Facebook, or that you can even use those resources, or that you're allowed to, unless you have the proper training and you have the support of the dealership?
That's good.
On the other hand, if you're the owner, what do you even know about it? Are you taking steps to provide your salespeople tools? Are you giving them the training? Are you giving them the knowledge base? Are you providing them with leadership in the management department that supports that? I mean, the best sales desks are the ones that remind the salespeople, great, you sold the car. Go get the picture with the customer. Go make sure that you're asking them for an online review. Make sure you do your 3-day follow-up. I mean, you always have to continually coach people. You know, we want to expect everybody to be great on their own, but salespeople are enthusiastic. They want to help their customers, but sometimes the management isn't always on board with that. So, and the salespeople, you know, you don't want to have the tail wag the dog, right? So you're not going to have the salesperson tell the manager what to do. So it is also the dealer principal's responsibility to hire a management team who supports his vision.
That's good. That's good.
Jenna, can you go up on that? The next comment, please. The next Facebook comment.
Okay.
Just because I wanted to ask William.
There was a comment from Deanna Edson, I think.
Yeah, and she said provide down a little bit. She said nope. Diana. Nope.
There we go.
There we go. Diana. No, Diana.
Yeah, we're getting used to this teleprompter here.
Diana.
All right,
This is awesome.
This is going to work awesome if it was okay. She said, Diana Eidson, Haddad said, provide a great experience every time, and there will never be a reason for that customer to go anywhere else, period. And then she put a period with a period. So, William, my question to you is, being a sales guy who has a great referral business.
Welcome to the Broadworks collaboration.
Hey, Lou, that's on the air. This show today is going really well if you're on it. And, hey, if you guys know me at all, my OCD's radar and temperatures things flying off the handle. But so let's ask that question again. Okay, so William, Tommy said that Deanna said provide a great experience every time, and there'll never be a reason for that customer to go anywhere else. Period. She emphasized it. So your question, Tommy, was do you agree with that or what?
My question was, in this day and age, is that even though that's the thing, people want to have a great customer experience, with the fact there's different manufacturers out there, cutting edge technology, different just different preferences. Your preferences change over time.
Is that realistic?
Is that enough anymore? What do you
that's a great question. Is that to William?
That is to William if he's on.
I just got back on, guys.
Okay, real quick.
Dropped. I didn't get to hear the question.
No problem. Here, Diana Eidson said, provide a great experience every time, and there will never be a reason for the customer to go anywhere else, period. Do you subscribe to that in this day and age? Is that, even though a great customer experience is what we're striving for, is that enough?
Absolutely, you got to do that, without a doubt. I mean, it's like a dog and pony show in a way, but you got to put on the show. You got to be the one out there. I mean, I don't know what people normally expect. I see coworkers of mine that go out and they just go out and plainly deliver the car. I go out whenever possible, whenever time allows me. They're in the finance office. I'm out prepping a little sign for the front door. I'm putting a bow on the hood. I've got my stickers in the car. Letting people know that I appreciate them and I really welcome their business and I want to have them back. And I always assure them, if they need anything, it's a one-stop shop. All they got to do is just pick the phone and dial me. If it's a sales or service question, great, I'll take care of it. If they need an appointment, I'll take care of that. They can call me, they can text me, they'll have access to my cell phone number, and most of the time they use it. And as far as social media goes, they're always on top of that too. If they're on Facebook or any other social media, they're contacting me through those channels, through Messenger, through posts, through anything on Instagram. People are getting a hold of me in those ways, and it's just staying constantly connected. Facebook and the rest of the social media platforms have opened up so much for us as salespeople that we can stay connected with our customers. And here, good example, right? One of my customers just bought a car from me, and his wife finally gave birth to their second child, within a week after they're buying the car. So what I do, I'm dropping them a little card, congratulations on the baby arriving. Stuff like that will get you connected with people, and they will not forget you.
Okay, and so I think where Tommy's going though, and William, thank you for that. And go back to Kalon for a second. Where Tommy was kind of going, and where I went and asked followed up question to
actually that actually explained it pretty well, Dave. what Dave Brooks said.
It takes a full team effort. At the end of the day, the customer's probably still going to shop you next time. Yeah, and Ed has a way of cutting right through the crap and just being kind of like straightforward, and not everybody likes that, but I think some people do, and that's a great take on it. But let me kind of fluff it up a little bit. And Mike Columbus has another comment, as Jenna brings that up in a second here. Mike Columbus commented, I believe, on this about it being the owner's responsibility, which Chris Castle agreed with me that it is. And as Jenna brings the teleprompter up, we got to get this going, Lou. I want to kind of piggyback on your comment and ask Kalon, is it just, hey, if I'm a good salesman, if I stay in touch with the person, then they're going to come back to me? I get that, and obviously we all agree that should happen. But Mike Columbus said it's not the owner's responsibility. The salesman builds a relationship that can go from dealer to dealer. But I kind of beg to differ, because let me ask you this: what if the customer experience is more than just what the salesperson can provide? Yes, you have a salesperson that reaches out to you all the time. I mean, and hey, happy birthday. Hey, congrats on your baby. But what if the service department at the dealership, I keep going back to that, it sucks. I mean, there's, my wife doesn't service her, Grand Cherokee SRT at the local, or at the same place where she bought. And so, I mean, she had a bad experience at the dealership for the service. So, I mean, doesn't that come into effect, Kalon, where if you are, maybe the customer experience is not bought in or not exemplified throughout the entire dealership, doesn't that affect your ability to maybe bring that customer back, irregardless of what you are willing to put into it as a salesperson? That's a question I'll ask you, Kalon.
So, yeah, I think that is something that we have to all take into consideration. And there is only so much I can do on, as a salesperson. I do help out my service department where I can. And I try to, for my customers who are having issues with service, I try to go out of my way to help them and do what I can to assist them. And as we mentioned, it is all a team effort. If the salesperson is doing everything they can, but nobody else is on board, as you mentioned, then it's going to be an uphill fight, and it's going to be difficult. And yes, it is possible that the customer still does come back to that salesperson because of the way they treated them throughout the whole process, before, during, and after the sale. But I think it is a whole team thing. The dealership has to be on board. The service has to be on board. It's a whole. We're a family here, and we have to work together. And I do a lot on my effort to help out the service department. If the service department sees you're willing to go the extra mile to help them, when you have a customer that's having maybe a little bit more of an issue, in my experience, I've seen them be a little bit more willing to go out of their way to service that customer. Mm-hmm. So I think on top of building the relationship with the customer, if we all work together as individuals working with one another and building a relationship and a positive one, I think that's going to help the long run as well. Not just expect service to take care of every customer, mm-hmm. but also be there to take care of service when they need us, if that makes sense.
Dave, before you ask your question, one of the things that I know you're going to shift gears, but Renee Perry said always goes back to relationship building. I agree with that. I'd like to hear what Mike Columbus thinks. Maybe he's already commenting, and get his comment up on that. I know what you said there, Mike, but what about the joint responsibility? What about a bad experience that might take it out of the salesman's hand? And also, Dave, what do you think, Cribbs, about maybe shared custody within the dealership? In other words, let's share responsibility and share custody within the dealership. Get a little team going.
Yeah. A couple of things come to mind. One of the things that I've heard is that, hey, give them this great experience and you don't have to worry. I really disagree with that. I mean, I think it's more than that. I've also heard, well, it's the owner's responsibility, mm-hmm. or it's the salesperson's job, or this or that. I want to go back to Chris Castle for a moment, because I believe that Chris really kind of touched on some things that I was thinking as well. One of the things is the fact that, I don't think there's any owner out there that doesn't intend to do well and input into his or her store and try to help salespeople and service department and everything create a place of synergy. I think sometimes where we miss the boat is channeling all of those strategies that we have. Like, for example, maybe our dealership offers tires for life. that helps keep that customer retention coming back, or a lifetime warranty on a used car, on the powertrain, keeps that customer kind of coming back in. And but we talked earlier about salespeople. Are they using everything that the dealership offers in order to help them retain that customer? And that message has to be, throughout the dealership instead of being compartmentalized. So Chris, maybe talk about that for a moment. You're in dealerships every day. What are you seeing out there? Are we getting better as leaders in the dealership in, kind of creating a synergistic team where there's not this division between the internet department and the sales department and the service department? It seems very counterproductive. What are you seeing out there right now?
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that. One of the things that when I started my company, we're not just an advertising agency. This isn't a plug for me. Believe me, we have so much going on. But I get involved in the operations because I feel like when you're advertising and marketing, you have to get involved with salespeople. And it's interesting how many salespeople, until we get involved, really don't spend a lot of time in service and parts. And it's often like, oh, that's what they do over there. Mm-hmm. And in service and parts, it's almost the same thing. It's what they do over there. We come in and we try to build a synergy with taking the owner's vision and looking at it from, higher up and saying, okay, well, nobody knows this and nobody knows that, and how come this isn't fair? And part of it is mentioning things at sales meetings and having people's attention, taking a time out and remembering, the old Stephen Covey, that you have to sharpen the axe every once in a while. You can't just always be on the go, and you have to give people a break to listen and learn. And we love spending a lot of time with salespeople, asking them things, getting to know them, because they are our best asset to market, right? Everybody has a car. We have to learn all the unique things about the dealership. Many salespeople don't know about the Tires for Life. They don't know that you get free oil changes for 3 years whenever you buy a pre-owned car. They don't know those things. And it's not, when you walk into a new job, how are you supposed to know unless it's communicated? Right?
That's good.
So we try to be a communication tool. Unless you're just the best salesperson in the world and you make it your point to know everything out there. But listen, we have to look at the average salesperson whenever we're hiring people, and we have to turn them into great salespeople, and we have to allow them time to go into the service department and get to know the service tech and build those relationships in-house so that you can build relationships with customers.
Yeah.
So I'd like to address the one thing that we're not talking about is what happened to the relationship, why they didn't buy a car, or what happened to the salesperson who did a fantastic job, and then the customer walks out of finance and they're upset.
Yeah.
Those are some pivot points that your relationship goes awry, because you've got a salesperson who bought the cookies, who gave the present for the baby, or gave did the card and all the right things. They go into finance. And it may not be the finance manager. It could be just the emotional state of the customer about their finances and their knowledge base. So there's a lot more factors going on than, were you the best salesperson in the whole wide world, and did you have the car clean, and were all the factors on go? We have to consider the customer and what their situation is and where their head's at. And so it's a very psychological process.
It is.
And we're not psychiatrists on the showroom floor.
Right.
And so it's not always, when a customer gets pissed off, it's not always your fault.
Right.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Chris, Chris, thank you so much. Tell our listeners how they can reach out to you and where they can find out more information about you and what you do, Chris.
You can definitely Google me, Chris Castle. But our company website is carnews.network. It's not a .com. It's .network. Carnews.network. I serve as an MC for the Independent Auto Dealers Association, often for Digital Dealer, and I'm also a trainer at the Greater New York Independent Auto Dealers, or the Greater New York Auto Dealers Association, and I own and operate an advertising agency called Car News Network.
Awesome.
And I'm definitely all about the true voice of the dealer and really taking a reality check into what's going on in the dealership. There are many dealers who don't understand all of the aspects and the tools that their salespeople need because they're not on the showroom floor themselves.
That's right.
And there are a lot of service directors who don't understand the sales process either. That's not their mainstay job. So,
That's good.
and the flip side, there are a lot of sales managers who don't know what's going on in the service department.
Yeah.
So I believe that there should be more company-wide meetings.
Yeah.
I believe it shouldn't be a sales meeting with the salespeople. I think the BDC belongs in there. I think some of the service managers belong in those same meetings,
I think
and as well as administrative staff.
Yeah, I think you're right on. That's a hot button for me. I think you're right on with that. And for those of you that are watching, Chris is not just an advertising agency. She's been a GSM. She's worked the floor. She's done it all inside the dealership as well. So let's go to.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Let's go to Kalan.
Sure, absolutely.
Let's go to Kalan Anderson and maybe give your closing comments, Kalan, and how dealers and people can reach out to you.
Yeah, definitely. And you guys are doing a great job, but my name is pronounced Kylan, but that's okay.
Kylan, I asked you guys what it was.
It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, you can definitely Google me or find me on social media. You can just Google Kylan Anderson and I pop up. I have a pretty unique name. But I just want to thank everybody for allowing me to be on here. It's been an honor. And, definitely that's something that we all need to work on is sharing the custody within our dealership and helping one another out and just growing as a group. So I appreciate you guys for having me on.
Well,
thanks, Kylan.
man. WMC.
WMC.
Guys, I just want to say thanks for having me on as well. It's always a pleasure to get a chance to speak with you and share some thoughts with everybody. I think, on this particular subject, really, you think about it, it's really going to come down more to culture as an overall thing. It's a word we haven't used here today yet, been able to catch, but you got to make sure your cultures are aligned, individually along with the dealership. If something's amiss, you got to have that conversation. You got to pull apart, whoever might be at fault, whether it be a manager, a service manager, a finance guy, whoever. If there's a chink in the armor somewhere, you make sure you're totally bulletproof when it comes to customer satisfaction.
Yeah.
Make sure that everybody's on board with the program and have a goal. Make that customer feel as though that's just the building block there, and then you want to not only deal with them but their entire network of people that they know. And if there has been a bad stigma about the company that you're in, or they've heard some bad things, it's never too late to try to turn it around. So
awesome. Thank you so much, William.
Appreciate everything and
appreciate you, brother. Thank you for
hope
coming.
everybody has a great day.
You too, my friend. All right, guys, thank you so much. That was panel number one. We want to thank our guests for coming on. And just a couple of comments before we go to break, guys. Velko Tuchev said it correctly. I know Velko, I always mess his last name up. Very few salespeople are interested in clients. Most salespeople are looking for new customers. Mike Hirschfeld, you cannot
commoditize.
Is that the right word? You cannot commoditize. I don't know if that's really a word.
I'm not sure either.
I'm like, you cannot make a commodity out of. You cannot treat customers like a commodity. How about that, huh?
Okay.
You can't treat customers like a commodity and expect customer loyalty. Customers, and you know what? I'm going to save the mystery aspect of that second part of that comment until we come back from break.
Let's just delve on that for a second.
That's a cliffhanger for you right there. Hey, don't go anywhere, Dave. The next up,
we'll be back for our shared custody. We just talked about how to keep the kids. Let's talk about how to take the kids away from the spouse on the next one.
Oh, that's not right.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. We'll be right back. Hey guys, Dave Villa here. Listen, I want to tell you about an exciting event coming up in 2017 that you don't want to miss. Are you or are you not a rock star? Listen, I am. Listen, I know many people in the auto business that are rock stars, and Matt Koenig is one of those people. Listen, March 13th, Monday, 2017, in Dallas, Texas, I'm going to open up and kick off the Rockstar Auto Conference. You don't want to miss it. Be there, man. Fly into Dallas, man. Come on.
I
have been using Serial Sales Pro for a little more than 2 years now.
I highly recommend it to anybody who's either just getting in sales. I don't care if you've been in sales 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are.
The shorter videos allows me to keep my concentration and also gives me more of a chance to actually apply that knowledge.
I've learned how to close deals better and be more effective in my communication with these customers.
You know, I think what Serial Sales Pro does for me, it just keeps me sharp, keeps my head sharp.
My income has literally tripled in the last 3 years.
This year, I'm already slated to make about 50 grand more than I made last year.
I've doubled my income from what I made last year.
It's definitely increased my income, and a lot of that came from what I learned right from Serial Sales Pro.
It's really turned my whole sales career around.
It keeps me ready to get to the next level.
So if you're not plugged in to it, get involved right away.
Hey, once in a while,
fun.
you know, the shows go like
fun.
really good. Like sometimes we're just like, man, the show went so freaking
so
good.
smooth.
When we get finished with this show, I can tell you what we won't be saying. If you want to know what's going on, like we used to have this camera. Mike Cherritt, the old producer, had this little camera. Remember the little camera he had up that let you see, like
Yeah.
you know, kind of like from like a
Fly on
fly's
the wall.
eye,
Fly on the
fly
wall.
on the wall.
Yep.
They thank you.
Yep.
You won't see that anymore. But what's going to happen in here is everybody's gonna be like, dude, what the freaking heck with this show? Like technical difficulties out the wazoo, and you know.
I'm just here for the ride. It's what
But
keeps it
it's all
fun and
good.
exciting.
It's all
This is all
freaking-
done on the fly. This is all live. Don't you
How
love it?
appropriate that we're having these kind of little issues with shared custody, because you know when you share custody,
Uh-huh.
you know, man,
Go with
I
it.
don't know from example, but
Go
I know
with
from
it.
movies when
Yes.
you share custody, it might get a little nasty.
Baby mama drama.
Baby,
This is a little challenging.
hey,
Where are
hey,
my
put-
kids?
put up the Serial Sales Pro jacket image. This is what we're giving away today. You don't have it. There it is, right
Thank
there.
you, Z.
There it is, right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's the jacket right there. You
That's
don't
Lou.
you don't get the dude. That's a model, right?
Oh.
Right. You know, sorry, Arnold, but you don't get the guy. Listen, here's the haha. He ain't listening. Hey.
Gotcha.
So your little head there, little Serial Sales Pro head, the little
Very
last
cool.
name
Very
that you
cool.
can't see over there, that says your last name. So
Yep.
whatever your last name is, you know, like you know, whatever. And on the back, Serial Sales Pro. That jacket is cool as the other side of the pillow. That's yours today. One top influencer. So share on Facebook, comment on Twitter, retweet it, like it, and we're gonna come up with a way where there's obvious who the top influencer is. That jacket is cool as heck, man. I promise you, you will like it, and you would cherish it for years to come.
It is a sweet jacket.
It is sweet, man. It's cool. It's like the
very-
Outsiders, you know?
Yeah. Super cool.
All right, the next up, Dave.
The next up here on Shared Custody. Look, we've got 3 superstars here. We've got Jared Drake, veteran new vehicle salesperson at Bartow Ford. That's here in the local area, pretty close by. We've got Nathan Hayes, sales professional #1 in referrals at Jefferson City Autoplex. And we have Adam Webster, sales pro at the Bernie Moreno Companies. Welcome, gentlemen, to the show.
What's
you.
up?
Glad to be here.
Hey, we're gonna
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you guys, man. We're gonna jump in. So I'm gonna piggyback on something that I think Chris Castle hit on the last segment, and we hit all around it, but we're gonna ask specifically about it because look, here's the deal: we've got salespeople on the panel, and salespeople we're optimistic, we're idealistic, somewhat. We definitely see the bright side of the of the coin, and we're like, hey, you know what? It's going to be great. I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to reach out to this customer, and I'm going to get this customer again. But here's the reality. And if somebody does have their audio on, if you could mute it, somebody's getting a major feedback, and it's kicking into the ear. But one of you guys. But
you are now muted.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you. And thank you for that Siri-like voice that notified us. Hey, so I want to ask this, and I'll go to Adam. Adam, it was mentioned in the last segment from multiple people, and then Chris really brought it home by saying, look, we can have...
you are now unmuted.
We can have our best intentions. Whoever just unmuted their phone, if you could mute it back for a second because you're getting major feedback. And
you are now remuted.
and then we'll bring you on.
You are now pre-muted, post-muted.
So Adam,
sorry.
If and we'll give you a second if that's you to unmute it when we finish the question. But Chris Castle had brought up the need for the everyone, not only salespeople, to be in meetings, to know what's going on, and not just to have a rah-rah go after the customer. As it was mentioned, salespeople care about getting the customer, but having other individuals, BDC, people that are going to handle this process through, that are going to ensure this customer is not shared. Because the reality is, if somebody in this day and age spends their hard-earned money, on marketing, and a customer responds to it, my theory is a customer's not going to stray unless deep down somewhere they're unhappy. So what's your opinion on that, Adam, how we can really tighten this thing up and not only rely on a salesperson, texting happy birthday or staying on top of it?
Yeah, that's something that that we really focus on here. We actually talk about it every single morning in our sales meetings. You have to take ownership of your client's experience, and that the relationship really just starts at the sale, and then you have to take ownership of that. And it's not just a happy birthday once a year. I schedule their first service appointment for them. I help make sure that I stay in contact with them throughout the entire process, and that way, my clients don't just get a call from me when their lease is coming due. You know what I mean? And then I hope no one else had influence since then. It's about building that relationship. It's paramount. And if you don't do that, then that's when other people can influence. But if you become their car guy for anything they need, sales, service, questions, anything at all, and you're their go-to guy, they're not going to go anywhere else. Or if someone else approaches them, it's like, no, I've got my guy. And having that type of relationship is something that we strive to build.
And one more follow-up on that, Adam. So then let me ask you, so that's a great, I love that. And it sounds like you guys have that down. And I love the fact that you're meeting on that and you're mentioning it daily. So it's something that you're cognizant of. Let me ask you this then. So does that literally means, because I can see it happening this way, that if I have some type of bad experience or an off experience, I own a BMW, and so they have a lot of, perks in the service department. And so they come pick your car up and then leave you a car at your office and things like that. So if I have any type of experience, then I'm contacting, and I do this, I'll contact my sales rep, because that guy's sold me 3 cars, leased me 3 cars, he's making a pretty penny. So is that what you're talking about? Like maybe even you welcome that customer to reach out to you on an ongoing basis if they have an issue, where you're able to kind of head that off in the past and maybe do something about it before it becomes some sort of fire. Is that what you're speaking of, maybe even?
Yes, 100%. And 2 parts to that. One, I like to be the point man on everything. We have an excellent service department here. I'm in the Highline arena, so we have a lot of service amenities we offer. But when you need an oil change, call me. I'll get it scheduled for you. You want us to pick it up? I'll take care of that. You need some all-weather mats? Call me. I'll help set them up through our parts department. You're having a problem getting your bill paid? Call me. I'll reach out to the manufacturer on your behalf. Whatever they need, it's about service. It's about providing that service. It's not an inconvenience for me. It's an opportunity to create value for my clients, and that's what will keep them coming back. And if you have an issue, that's actually, it can be a blessing, because if you have someone where the ball is dropped somewhere along the way, or if they have a bad experience, and you take ownership of that and you resolve it to the best of your ability, that client will probably be more likely to come back to you than to go anywhere else, because they know that you've got their back and you're going to solve their issue, whatever it is.
That's good. I like that. I think that domestic and import dealers, and they're getting better. Obviously, I'm not dogging them out at all, but owning Highline vehicles, and because of maybe the money that's being spent, that Highline dealers are doing such a good job at this in a lot of different respects. I think dealerships in general can learn a lot from this, Dave, this concept. I think BMW sent their geniuses to other organizations and companies to really find out, how they're doing it. And I think it's a really good mix.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant that Adam just talked about, essentially handicapping the possibilities that something else, that your customer may get a little bit less service than what you would want them personally, by being the point man, by having your customer call you directly, right off the bat. I think that goes a long way. I think that's a great tip for new salespeople to kind of tune into. Let's go to Jared Drake. Jared, for those of you who don't know, Jared is with Bartow Ford, and Bartow Ford is located just a little bit off the beaten path between Tampa and Orlando. I'd say they're closer to the Tampa market, where there are these huge Ford dealers, but Bartow Ford's been in business forever. And I want to go to talk to Jared about, how do you keep custody of your customers when you're, faced with all this noise from the Tampa Bay market? Talk about that for a moment.
That's right, guys. Hey, listen, I'm really excited to be with you guys today. Thank you again for asking me to be on your show. It's always a pleasure. So first, I'd like to say that. You're talking about the noise in the Tampa Bay market. You definitely got to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. You got to have an angle. You got to do something different for your customers that's going to ring, hey, I need to call this guy. This is my guy. This is the one I can trust. This is the one that's going to take care of my business and navigate through the dealership. I'll tell you, one way to do that is massive follow-up. You have to be in front of your customers all the time. One thing that I do direct mail myself to my customers multiple times a year, in addition to phone calls, birthday cards, all kinds of things. But the bottom line is I need to be answering that phone, need to be available, and I need to be following up with people every day.
That's awesome, and then Dave hit it on the head too, Jared. With you guys being, I mean, you're a great Ford store. I live in Dover, which is just west of Plant City, and but east of Tampa. And so I'm not necessarily close to you. I can drive to multiple Ford stores closer to you, but I see your GM on my television set all the time. So he's in our market, and so but what they advertise is the customer experience, and I like that, and I'm very familiar with the market there. So what you guys have managed to do, which is incredible, is take a small town market and make it big, make it a small town market that reaches to beyond it, but gives that excellent service with a small town mindset. So talk a little bit about that as well, and how somebody that such as yourself can compete in a market again like Tampa, which is different, and there's not as struggle with customer service sometimes, but you guys are reaching in, and I think that's why you guys own some of the market that really technically shouldn't be yours.
Yeah, I got to tell you, the way the ownership is, they've always felt of doing things different, treating customers the right way. Our motto is we're different and we prove it, and we do that each and every day. When the customer enters the dealership, they feel this relaxed atmosphere that the culture of the store has, and the people all believe in, taking care of the customer. At the end of the day, that's what we're there for. And in turn, by doing that, you're not just selling somebody one day, you're selling them the next day and the day after. 70% of our business is repeat referral. And I got to tell you, it's an amazing thing. We feel that once customers do business with us one time, they'll never go anywhere else. And that's by listening to the customers, taking care of their needs, providing exceptional value, and the experience that they have is like no other. I mean, they really feel like they're at home at our dealership.
Yeah, Dave, that's a huge number. I mean, 70% retention when you're hearing the noise from Tampa Bay, Tommy. And, can you not hear that in Jared's voice, the synergy that we talked about, what a dealership really needed to possess with that message across the board?
Yeah, and you got to understand, one of the dealerships that probably, if you're going into the Tampa Bay market, those of you that are listening, if you're in the Ford arena, you've heard of Brandon Ford. I mean, they're one of the top Ford stores in the Southeast region. They're a top certified Ford pre-owned dealer in the nation. They're a top F-150, and you're talking about that being one of the closest quote Tampa Bay area stores that Jared has to contend with, and that's a big task, Jared. That's like going up against a Goliath, and so hats off to you guys. You're doing a great job over there. I'll go to Tommy and let him bring Nathan in.
Yeah, Nathan, I had a quick question for you, and I'm thinking a top sales guy, at a good sized dealership, guys are doing probably what, 20 to 30 cars a month is probably a fair for like top, elite, right?
Yeah.
All right, so you're talking about
number one in referrals too.
Okay, so you're talking 20 to 30 cars a month. Extrapolate that over a year. Extrapolate that over your time on the job. When does it? What I'm thinking is to be the point person, like Adam was saying, being a point person. So he's got people calling him, hey, can you schedule my oil change? Can you do this? Can you do that? That's a burden, not in a bad way per se, but it's a burden, right? You're gonna have a lot of activity that way. So can you give some practical ways on how people can, maybe some newbies in the business, how they can help facilitate that? Because that could be overwhelming to the point where you're not doing anything but helping the follow-up and helping people you've already sold and not taking care of new business. Can you give us some hints, some of your tricks of the trade?
It's a lot of work. I keep a separate spreadsheet of all of my sold customers, and then I kind of micromanage that and cross-check that for, what I've actually been paid for. Books that I've read, they recommend grading your database so you can see
that if someone bought 5 cars from you in 6 years, consider that an A-plus customer, whereas someone that bought maybe 1 car from you or buy 6 cars from you, and it's a grind out, knockdown session, but they want you to stop what you're doing and pair their Bluetooth from buying a car somewhere else. I mean, those people, no offense, they're not helping pay my bills. I'm a nice person, so I still help them. Maybe my coworkers don't want them to come back, but that's just what happens. I unfortunately have to delegate various tasks to other people. Our detail shop is 2 stores over, and I'm not the most fit person in America that sells cars. So I get rides. We have to juggle, move around cars. And I have the Car Tap mobile app. If you're a salesperson and you've got an extra $300 or $400, I would definitely recommend getting the Car Tap mobile app. I don't know if I'm allowed to plug that product, but I just did.
You just did.
And I have my own website. It's nothing crazy. I don't send it out to social or search engine optimization or anything like that. It's just one more layer of the brand that is Nathan Hayes that allows me to be that much more available.
Awesome.
My wife stopped at the grocery store and asked about buying cars. People know what my kids look like. I'm on the Chamber of Commerce locally, board of directors, so I get asked to do a lot
So you're
of
taking
things.
you're taking this thing seriously, and that brings a comment to Mike Columbus just made on Facebook. He said, I keep hearing Mike Columbus said, I keep hearing it's about caring for the customer. What about building lifelong relationships? And I hear that's kind of what Nathan's going into. I mean, he's putting layer after layer after layer. So it sounds like, Adam, that building a lifelong relationship is really what this is all about, and caring for the customer is just maybe a fragment of that. Adam, what do you think about that?
Yeah, and I am in the relationship business. That's because the commodity is the same. I sell a lot of pre-owned cars, but I'm working a new car franchise, and so the commodity is the same nationwide, but it's the relationships that I build. And those little things we were talking about earlier is what help nurtures that relationship. And a lot of times that bond is unbreakable. I mean, unless I really drop the ball, but a vast majority of my clients are not going to go anywhere else because they know I'm going to take care of them, and they know that I care, and that's something that I've had to earn and I've had to demonstrate. But when you do that repeatedly and people know you're genuine, they're not interested in seeing if another guy can beat my deal by $5 or $10 because it's just about that relationship. Or if they have a referral, they can trust that if they send their family member, their coworker, their friend, that I'm going to take care of them and I'm going to do the right thing and provide that VIP level of service. And I don't look at it as that I sell cars. I help people buy cars, and I take that consultative approach, and that is something especially millennials in this day and age really appreciate because no one wants to be sold anything. And when you help them, find the right product, you help them buy what they're looking for, and then you service them along the way. Yeah, that's when the magic really happens.
That's good. That's a great. I like the way you said that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I just saw a comment by Mike Hirschfield, which kind of caught my attention. It said people will buy from a great sales pro at a bad dealership, but they won't buy from a bad sales pro at a good dealership. So that does certainly put some responsibility on the salesperson. That's for sure.
That's
yeah.
That's scary to think about it, but I often say that in my sales meetings. I say that to my guys. People buy inferior products from superior salespeople all the time.
Exactly.
It sucks, but I mean, it sucks for the salesperson. But it means that we're not doing our job. We can have the best product in the world if we're not repping it well, then if we're not repping our company well, then that's an issue.
That's correct.
So Renee Perry said new reps.
I think that was on your comment.
Who?
I think that might have been on your comment that you just said a minute ago when you were.
Yeah, I was asking about the advice for newbies.
Yeah,
so new reps cannot expect repeat customers. Retention is earned by your efforts and what you bring, what you bring that the other guy does not. And
But she was besmirching you a
She
little
wasn't
bit.
besmirching me. What are you talking about?
Kind of dogging out your comment a little
No,
bit.
she wasn't. She was.
Yeah, I think she was.
Well, first of all, you can expect repeat customers if you do a good job, but it says you can't if your
Yeah, but she was
efforts
pretty much
suck.
I think what
and
she
you're not doing what the other guys
I'm
do.
gonna assume that she was probably besmirching your
Because
comment.
you would, because that's just what you like.
Yeah,
you
no,
like
she-
getting
yeah,
some.
she was like, you know what?
She's
Tommy?
not. Renee Perry.
She's like, your comment
Hey,
sucks.
Renee Perry. Okay, so here's what I was gonna say, and Nathan, and we're gonna have to start wrapping things up. So Nathan, maybe you can kind of 2-in-1 this deal, so you can give your final thoughts also. But when it comes to that statement, doing what the other guys do not, what are you laughing at? What?
Go ahead, man.
I'm gonna friggin' start. You know what? Okay, all right, it's on.
I'm
All
laughing
right,
at
the
something.
whole rest of the time.
I'm laughing at something.
All right. So doing what the other guys do not.
Big hairy Sasquatch.
Is it easier to be doing what the other guys do not because the culture is that guys are lackadaisical and they're not doing their job and they're not good salespeople out there? Is that spread becoming more evident? Shut up, Louis. I'll punch you in the face. How about that? That was for Nathan.
Nathan, I'm not even sure if you understand that question, my friend. But if you do, you are a gentleman and a scholar.
Because y'all freaking making me chop
You,
it all
sir,
up.
you, sir, are like Gandalf. If you understand that.
Because I've helped my friends
You
and
got
my
it.
family
Got
buy
it.
cars, places, other states, not other countries yet, I guess. But I had a friend buy a Ford truck. We don't have a Ford store locally. There's 2 competitive Ford stores that actually compete against each other in our market that are owned by the same company. And they forgot who he was. All they cared about was getting his money. They forgot who he was. His salesperson was a guy I used to work with. They hyped it up, kept calling him, hey, come pick your truck up. He showed up. None of the paperwork was ready. The accessories weren't on his truck. He was spending $45,000. I helped him negotiate the deal. And he was like, man, is this really how it is? I said, dude, it's like this all over the country. You just got to be a little bit better than everyone else, and you're light years ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's like that in other businesses. I mean, I'm sure it's like that in the restaurant industry. Anywhere where there's tips involved. I mean, I tip well. I don't expect perfect or flawless service, but I give people tips. I'll tell them to smile and act happy and what's wrong. And I mean, some people just want to be cared for, and that's the customer too. They come in, they're expecting to have a bad experience.
Right.
Customers that are referrals to me, they know better. I literally promise all my customers lifetime customer service. Even if I leave the business for some reason, I'll still handle all the calls. Today's my day off. I'm at the dealership. I've gotten a bunch of service calls. I had to go run an errand. I had to go pick up a car for service. I'd like to knock out my 16 overdue tasks, but instead I'm taking care of my customers.
Yeah.
Because I know if I take care of them, they'll take care of me.
Nice. And I see here your Twitter handle is @AskForNate. Man, thank you for coming on as well. Make sure you guys follow Nathan because he posts a lot of good stuff that'll help you guys that are selling cars. That's my experience with him. He definitely likes to pour out and help and share what he's doing. So thank you very much for coming on as well.
And he understands convoluted questions.
Hey, but I guess we're going to go to Jared Drake for a close as well, but I want to read Andrew Gary Paul Montrose. That's a name right there. I think I said the last name right. Andrew Gary Paul Montrose comment. I have had people pay me, he said, sticker on demos because of the relationships. That's strong. That's stronger than New Rope. Dave?
Yeah, I'm wondering what the relationship was. Mom, dad. No, we get it.
It was like this broad I was dating.
No, Andrew's right on. I mean, you can have that type of relationship with people, and you can create that type of value and that type of service where they feel that it's a fair trade, right?
I think he was emphasizing mostly that the fact that relationship's important.
Yes.
Where value exceeds price is an issue, not people's heads off. And,
I think he was bragging about how
charge them
awesome
off.
a salesperson he is.
Yeah. Right. Hey, let's go to Jared Drake for closing comments. Jared, wrap it up.
Hey guys, listen, what I say is show up early, stay late, work, do the extra things that nobody else is willing to do, because on the extra mile, most people aren't on it. That's what you need to do. You need to go the extra mile. Bring energy, all right, give the attention. And when you give that experience on the lot, you'll have raving fans. You'll never really have to worry about it. Everything's going to keep coming back for you, and your customers are absolutely going to love you.
Nice.
You're a wise man, Jared.
Right.
How do people reach you? @FL Ford Salesman, correct?
That's right, man. That's right. Reach out to me. Love to talk to you.
Thank you,
Jared. And Adam, we'll go to you for your closing comments. If you go ahead and give us your closing remarks, and then let people know how they can reach you, Adam.
Sure. I heard a quote about 7 years ago that has stuck with me and helped me tremendously, and that was, it's not your customer's job to remember you. It's your job to make sure they don't have the opportunity to forget you. And that just that's where I had the paradigm shift, and I approach things a little different. I've had a world of success since then, and I think it's just a better way to look at it. And yeah, please follow me on Twitter at ADAMWEBY. David, I know we've been interacting for years. With a pleasure to finally be on here. I really appreciate the opportunity.
No, my pleasure, Adam. Thank you so much for coming on, man. Doing great things over there. Guys, thank you so much. That was our shared custody panel 2, and outstanding input and feedback from a great group of salesmen, professionals in the business. And hey, we have a couple of tickets for Rockstar. If you're in the Dallas area, it's this Monday, March 13th. So it's probably maybe too late for you to travel. If not, more power to you. But we do have a couple of tickets I'd like to personally give you. If you're in the Dallas market or anywhere close where you could drive, they're yours. If you are a manager, a dealer in the automotive industry, contact me. I don't think you guys have time to type in a personal number up there, do you? Direct line? Okay. You can contact me at 813-463-4002. These are mine, so I'm going to give them to you. I got a couple of them, 813-463-4002, 813-463-4002. And the tickets are yours, first come, first serve. I'm doing the opening keynote there. Tim Kent's is closing, and we've got just a great group of people doing workshops throughout. So it's incredible. Matt Koenig's doing a great job. Rockstar Auto Conference this Monday. You don't want to miss it. And
yeah, and if for some reason you can't get there or you don't win these tickets, I believe that there's an opportunity for live streaming to be able to see the event.
There is. I don't know how do you check that out. If you're what's that?
On rockstarautomotive.com.
Rockstar Automotive, rockstarautoconference.com, and you can check out the live stream. I think it's there's a fee, but it's minimal. And you could stream the whole conference and watch it if you're not available as well. But if you want those tickets, give me a call. They're going to be gone just a few minutes. What do you guys say?
I want to share the custody.
I say technical issues, but amazing guests today. I was really impressed with the guests that were on.
Yes.
Sharp guys and gals.
Yes.
But what else would you expect from Auto Deal Live? What else would you expect us to bring you? I'm just here.
Look at Ezra. Ezra's want this to be done. You turtleneck?
No, he's had like almost explosive situations.
All right. Don't miss our upcoming.
Turtle soup going on, dog. Turtle soup.
All right. So, what?
Don't miss our upcoming shows. We've got Market Moguls, March Madness, quarterback. We'll be talking about that first quarter. Can't get it back, but we'll be reviewing it and talking about how to make it better. Dealership Squares, kind of like a version of Hollywood Squares. We'll have the Dream Team on the Dealership Squares, and then Pull the Plug. We'll be talking about that.
Dealership Square. Are they going to be like
hybrids
in
and things like
this?
Next month, we're going to be at Digital Dealer 22 in Tampa. It's April 11th through the 13th. And we're actually going to be doing a keynote there with a group of dealers, first time with us. We got a great group. You're going to be moderating that, and I'm going to be on the panel. We'll be doing a keynote there. Also, just announced, and it's not even, I don't even think it's for dealers, but I'm going to be doing a keynote at Ignition One Conference, which is a marketing tech company for automotive industry, and in May. Just a lot of cool stuff going on, man. You guys don't want to miss.
I'll be at Digital Dealer. I'll be having a snack towards the front.
You'll be there.
It'll be snack time for me.
If you ever want to see
doing
a
moderations
in person,
and stuff, yes.
Right here.
Come take a picture with the big hairy gorilla.
The Squatch.
Yeah.
The Squatch.
And
who's gonna win that jacket? There's still 3 more minutes. We're gonna give
I think it's gonna be Z. I think it's gonna be Z today.
Yes.
Z's all over.
By the way, Z, just so you know,
he said
you and Ed Brooks, my wife, texted me and said, hey, why is everybody saying something about SRT? Let me tell you something about the SRT. First of all, man, the thing's like 80 grand, so it's not like it's nothing to sneeze at.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's freaking bad. It's
sounds
fast.
Beastly.
500 horsepower.
It sounds beastly when you
My
start
wife
up.
wanted that. Matter of fact, she wrecked one. Somebody ran a stop sign and hit her, and then she went out and bought a brand new one. And she loves that car. It's freaking, it's
loves
a beast.
That power, man.
It's a beast. It's a beast.
It is. So I don't know why they got beef. Why was the beef about?
I don't know.
Yeah,
they were just giving me a hard time. I thought you loved your wife. My wife. Why are they saying something? She didn't know what was being said, and she acted like I wasn't on the show.
Maybe you should mind your business. Say keep Dave's wife out your mouth. How about that? But you mind your biz.
I got a good one too. I wish Z would just finalize this whole Serial Sales Pro thing, but that's another story.
Well, you should probably close them.
There we go.
All right.
All right. Well,
a lot of stuff going on in this hour. What do you say we go?
Huh?
Huh, Jen?
Yeah, let's go.
Yes.
I got to pee.
We're out.
God bless y'all. Love y'all. Bye.
See you next week.